things I'd like to talk about is being proactive about how you sell your business. Now, our business is called Xcelerate, and when we get together with people in small groups, we usually talk about saying we're Xcelerate. And it might sound a little gimmicky, but people who don't know me terribly well usually meet me up and say, oh, you're the guy that's in Xcelerate. What are you doing to make your customers remember you and your business? Whether it's your website, whether it's when you contact them on the phone, when you visit them, when you send them an invoice, when you send them an email. What impression are you making on your customers, and how are you going to ensure that your customers remember you over your competitors? Now, if the phone is not ringing in, it had better be ringing out. The question for really to start thinking about is, if sales aren't going well in your business, who's the best person to do the sales in your business? It's not always the business owner. So you really need to think about, are you the best person to do the selling? Because sales is what drives your business. And if you're not the best person to do it, then hire somebody. It doesn't mean you have to go and spend 50 and 60 grand a year and get them a company car and watch them drive all around the country racking up expenses. There are lots of other ways to do it. But don't spend the time thinking you're on your own, I have to do it, I own the company, I've no money, blah, blah, blah. You've got to start thinking outside the box. And there are ways that I can help you, and our company can help you to think outside the box as to how you get that resource in place. You need to understand what industry you're in. What is the space that you're in? And how I would differentiate it to try and make it as clear as possible is, in selling, there are retailers and there are suppliers. That's the way I break them out. Retailer is the person with the shop or the supermarket or the DIY. They have to market and sell their products and services differently to try and attract the customers to come into them. But the people who actively go out on the road to sell to other companies have a slightly different strategy. So sales isn't a one-size-fits-all. So you need to understand who and what are your customers. What do they do with the products and service that you sell them? It isn't enough to send them a pallet of stock and hope that it sells. You need to understand, what are they going to do with that product? You need to be more engaged with your customers. And everybody that I talk to in the initial stage said, everybody wants me to cut the price. But cheaper prices can mean something else. If you said to them, well, look, I'll give you more for the same price, or I'll give you better productivity out of that product I'm selling you, you'll get more usage out of your machines or whatever. Or if you come along with something new and innovative. So it isn't all about price, although that's what you hear during economic downturn. The one overriding comment I would make is, quality is a given nowadays. Absolutely a given. So there's no room for poor quality product at a cheap price. I find one of the biggest challenges in talking to people about how they sell their products and services is they take their existing customers for granted. And they're going chasing the new or chasing this or chasing that, but your existing customers are the bread and butter. And I call that passive sales. The strategies that change. If you've got your existing customers, the strategy used for that customer is know them and know what they do with your product. Get to know them. And in your existing customers, don't leave it to a one-to-one relationship. Don't just have one relationship in your existing customer with one person. That guy, girl leaves, all changes. I have a number of 15 or 20 people who I speak to regularly about my business to get advice, to get support. Dermot mentioned the Venture Network Group. I'm a network junkie. I go to lots of things. I hand out lots of business cards. I talk to lots of people. I try to find out what's going on. And it's really, really important. Just when we talked earlier about sales, one of the other things that we need to look at is cost. And when you're selling, you can't ignore cost, obviously. One of the things that we do as a business is we give you the option to outsource. Outsourcing is really, really effective. So don't think that you lose control by outsourcing. It gives you greater power. If you're not the right person to do the sales, recognize the weaknesses in your business and then do something about it. Build multiple relationships across your customer base. When you have a customer, a very good customer, Don't be focused on the one-to-one relationship only. It leaves you extremely vulnerable. Regular contact with your top 20. Get out your debtors list. Sort it by value, if you like. Simple. Pick the top 20. When did you last go to see them? If you have something to send them by courier, bring it over in the car. Drop it in the door. Ring them up. Ask them, are they free for a cup of coffee? Do not leave it to chance. Early warning systems. If you get a phone call and you get a massive surprise from a customer, you deserve it. Because you're not close enough to them. You can't cover every eventuality. But I can guarantee if you get close to them, you won't get many surprises. And networking. As I said, I'm a network junkie. Network regularly and network unselfishly. Don't go to a network event just looking for something for you. Give something back. It will come back tenfold, I guarantee it. There's lots of sales aids you can use. The old ones are there. There's loads of new ones. It's easier to go get product from China today than it was 30 years ago. So if your competitors are doing it, you should be able to do it. You can send an email to somebody in the States and get a response back in 30 seconds. You can Skype them. You can get on a plane. 30 years ago, it wasn't that easy. There's loads of different sales aids to use these days. A comment that I use over the years, particularly in relation to sales and customers. If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. So remember tomorrow morning, it isn't hard to start doing something, but it's absolutely wrong to do nothing. And there is always a better way. Thanks very much.